Is it Wednesday? Uh-oh. Good one, was it? I'll be heading back on a motorbike. Just south of Conflans, the River Seine is divided by Ile-de-Nancy, and on the right bank flows into the Bras to Andrécy. Here lies the peaceful Halte Nautique where options rested quietly overnight. Goodbye, Andrécy. Coffee, please. Important jobs in the morning. Next stop is Malmaison or Chateau. Not sure which one yet. Very still this morning, isn't it? At Conflans, we passed the mouth of the River Oise, flowing into the Seine, and sailed on under the rail bridge we'd seen so many months before the lockdown.
So these guys are just here forever?
Don't know. They do say that this area is full of boats that are no longer used. Hundreds of boats smother the right bank at Conflans Saint-Honorine. Those are liveaboard boats. Santa Honorina was adopted as the patron saint of bargees. That one looks better. Maybe.
But they're not moving anywhere, are they?
But if that's all you know, are you going to want to live in a house? The long line of barges faded away behind as we meandered on past tree-lined islands, riverside houses, and sleepy towns. Bonjour, monsieur. I think he said jump in, you've got a life jacket on. Right. Right, okay, so we can find a way that's going to be comfy.
Well, I've had the chair before, haven't I?
Stool.
Put it on auto or something.
So what did you say about this lock?
About this? I just said it's a little bit unkempt.
Oh, right, so you mean it needs to do some weeding? Right. That's Wisdom over there. We met them yesterday, lovely people. Very nice motor launch.
Yes, it
with lots of fenders. Is what?
We have 12.
12 fenders?
That's 6 more than we had.
Well, it is, yeah.
I don't know where I'm going to store them all when we're actually sailing.
Might have to deflate them.
Yeah, well, that's what, yeah, we didn't have them.
With just enough space to tie up at Malmaison, we secured the boat and visited the former country home of Napoleon Bonaparte. Josephine bought the house in 1799 while he was on campaign in Egypt. The purchase was confirmed on his return, and the castle became the seat of government from 1800 to 1802. Following their divorce, Bonaparte gifted the estate to Josephine. She died here in 1814. Uh-oh.
He's a bit close to us, surely. Why is he so comfortable?
Did the rope snap?
No.
You alright? Worried? They don't have shift, don't they? Thankfully, we were not disturbed by river traffic overnight, but sleep evaded us with an early start on our minds for the next day. Beautiful morning, heading into Paris. We first experienced Paris in the 1980s, and the city is a favourite of ours. Arriving there by river on our own boat was to be a wonderful and treasured experience. This canal entrance here is the start of the Canals Saint-Denis, or Saint-Denis. That one goes around in through the north of Paris and eventually comes out at the back end of the Arsenal Marina. We're not going that way, we're going this way. So I think the way that we're going is the best route to go to see the things like the Eiffel Tower and Notre Dame.
No, I've prepared dinner.
Oh, you've prepared dinner?
And I have made your lunch as well.
Oh, goodness me.
It's only 9:15. So it's stupid.
That's not a boat. Floating house.
It was a houseboat though.
Well, I'm not sure. I think I'd want to live at one of those. No.
On any of them.
On any of them? Yes, this is where we could have... Interesting, yeah, they are all blocked off. Yeah, this is Van Gogh, apparently. And we could have stayed there, but it's not in the centre of Paris, which is where we wanted to be. That wasn't a good one, was it? So they're much easier to lift off, but they have them staggered. They don't have them in line with each other coming up. The last rising lock before Paris proved difficult. So this is Écluse, what is it called? Seresny. Is that right? Because the top ballards were out of sight on entry. Don't want to hit that. Goodness me, no. That could cause some damage. How far is it now? 20 kilometres. Okay. That was a bit panicky, that wasn't it?
Well, it was for me. Maybe didn't mean to be, but it just, yeah.
Just a different it's a different way.
One.
Yeah, a very different lock.
Okay, I got myself to calm down. Well,
That's a homemade galleon. Yeah. Meanwhile, this way we've got one of these coming. All very friendly, aren't they? Can you see? Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower came into view and our excitement grew with every bridge and landmark we passed. Seine leisure boats, tourist attractions, all laid up, doing nothing. No tourism, no customers, nothing to do. Yeah, it does look new. In 1889, this quarter-scale replica of Liberty Enlightening the World was gifted by the American community in Paris to commemorate the centennial of the French Revolution. It was one of the working models for the large statue in New York. Gustave Eiffel made the construction of the Bartholdi design possible by building the internal steel support frame. Normally, absolutely heaving. Plateau bus. Let's watch this guy here, see whether he's going or not. This is actually fantastic. We've done it. Well, we've got as far as this anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just make sure we can get to everywhere we need to be.
Yeah, which is where?
Bastille. The Arsenal.
Bastille.
You've got a boat darling on your left.
Boats coming. Very ornate bridge, isn't it? Most of the river bridges are very ornate. Arguably the best is Pont Alexandre, which connects the Champs-Élysées area with Les Invalides on the left bank. Ile de la Cité is the disputed 3rd century BC origin of Paris, predating Roman occupation. The Gallic town of the Parisii fell to Caesar in 52 BC, was renamed Laetitia, and grew southwards until the Roman collapse and occupation by the Franks in the 5th century. They made Parisiacus their capital city. In 1163, Bishop Maurice de Sully commenced work to construct a Catholic cathedral dedicated to the Virgin Mary. The original design took over 100 years to complete and is considered to be one of the finest examples of medieval Gothic architecture.
Oh, brother!
At Ile de la Cité, the river splits and is controlled by traffic lights for large commercial vessels, so they go around the north side and through the channel to the west of Ile Saint-Louis. We emerge from the south channel to see a 100-metre-long barge heading straight for us. We pulled over to let it pass safely. Construction of Pont de Sully started in 1876 during the Haussmann renovation of Paris era. Haussmann, appointed by Napoleon III, was responsible for the modern-day layout and feel of Paris. The entrance to Port Arsenal Marina came into view, and we crossed to the other side of the river, radioed for access, and waited for the lock to be ready.
No, there's nothing in the law.
The river trip through Paris was wonderful.
This is the entrance to the Arsenal Marina. Floating bollard.
We booked in for 1 week, anticipating a busy time showing our friend Vicky the sights of Paris. She dreamed of visiting the Palace of Versailles since early school days, so we invited her to stay with us and share the sightseeing opportunity.
Stop, get out the way. No, not yet. 61, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the sky, I think. Oh no, 70. 69, in the middle. What? Weed. Ah. Where do you want that? Let's put this on a slip.
No, it's tie on. Would you put what the mid strips on this one?
Yeah.
Tie this one.
Did you get moved on? So did I.
Did you?
No, I got right still enough.
Right, where
Yeah,
were you?
I was sat over there. Yeah. Anyway, pretty though, isn't it?
We'll wait for the Saracens.
Are they definitely coming on? The Arc de Triomphe was a construction site, and we assumed these were Rugby World Cup and Olympics preparations, but found out later that artists Christo and Jean-Claude were wrapping it in their unique fashion. The top stage of the Eiffel Tower was closed, but the views were as stunning as ever lower down. A TV drama shoot on location closed the Pantheon, but this didn't dampen our spirits. To end the Whirlwind Week, we took options under the streets of Paris along the Canal Saint-Martin. Napoleon I ordered the construction in 1802, and it took 23 years to complete. The canal was built to supply clean water to the city from the River Ourcq, some 100 kilometres northeast of Paris. Also, grain was unloaded at the specially constructed ports of Villette and Arsenal. During the mid-19th century Haussmann renovation of Paris, 2 kilometres of the canal north of the port of Arsenal was covered over to create the wide boulevards above. Today, The canal is used by pleasure craft passing unnoticed beneath busy streets and the Place de la Bastille. After a short trip downriver to see some more of the sights from a different perspective, it was time to say our farewells.
Good morning.
Morning!